Hi there, welcome back to my channel. It is Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Leo, if you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, there's a link in the box below to your whole astrology chart details, and that way if you want more information for the week, you can always check out your Moon and Rising sign readings on top of your Sun sign reading today. This is for the week of July 4th to July 11th. So I'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck for the main spread as always, pulling a card from the bottom for general energy. And then to complete the reading today, we'll draw cards from the Healing with the Angels Tarot and the Medicine card Tarot as always. I'm going to be switching up the question a little bit this week. Instead of asking what are general messages for your sign, I'll be asking more specifically, what does your sign need to know? So hopefully you find that a little bit more helpful in terms of pinpointing how to establish any messages here or to apply any messages here. And even though this is a general reading, so on a general basis for all my Leos, in terms of what do you need to know, it could be something that you derive that's specific for you. So hopefully this is helpful. And next week I might switch it up a teeny bit and do a 5-card spread just to keep it fresh. But until then, let's stick to the 3-card spread today. So Leo, I wish for you all success, joy, and wellness. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. And I ask that Gaia please bless this reading for Leo. So what does Leo need to know for the week of July 4th to July 11th? All right, so your central position card is the Tick-Tock card. Leo, this is a card of both time constraint and timelessness. So it's mutable in that regard. So depending on what is currently most prominent in your life as a general condition or matter, if you apply, wow, okay, so lots of changes this week, or at least the overarching desire or need or requirement for decision making this week, Leo. So just to go back quickly to the Tick-Tock card, again, so both time and timelessness, depending on how this occurs for you personally through the week, this could be an issue of getting to take your time with something. You have all the time in the world. The whole point is to begin something and worry about I would say, condition of the content versus the application of the content here. On the other hand, it could be about time constraints and conditions around time, and this, like a clock is ticking, so to speak, here. And it's interesting, and the reason why I sort of said, ooh, there's changes afoot is because to one side of Tick-Tock, we have the card The Tribe, and to the other side, we have Fork in the Road. And this could really specifically just be about making a decision about a group of people, friends, coworkers, comrades, activists, travelers, collectors, whatever your general whatever this is applying to generally for you this week. It could be that you need to make a decision in terms of how to proceed with this group as an individual. And it could be that you are switching sides or being very specific about the side that you're taking and making a stand here. And you maybe, if you don't voluntarily make up your mind about which route to take, that may be made up for you. Okay, so I'm going to go through these in detail in just a moment with you. Let's look at the bottom of the deck energy card. We have Higher Power. This is beautiful, just because, of course, the general energy color here is pink and mauve with undercurrents of purple. This is an ascension color. So you might even be feeling as though you're being led or drawn by something, not necessarily to something, but sort of pulled by something or encouraged by something that is what we would consider in the material world to be inexplicable, or no one had to teach it to you, or you've just figured something out. So if it is generally speaking, about a spiritual matter, then this is lovely. Then you're aware that this is a spiritual matter. However, if that's not what's going on or that isn't your cup of tea to look at things in such a way, there is an element of being aware of being drawn to or pulled by a significant force. I'm going to leave that the way that sounds instead of delving into that and let you interpret that in your own world this week, Leo. And certainly, if you have questions about this, we can talk about that as well. Um, but for now, I will leave that card as it is, and let's move on to TikTok. Like I said, we have the the timepiece here being almost at least visually thrown at you. But on the other hand, it's got what looks like to be a little bit of a safety net. It can float down. So there's something you can do with the time here as in urgency, or there's something that you can do in terms of taking your time. Okay. And like I said, that's going to be up to you how that plays out for you this week. But it does look like it's regarding both of these issues here. And you can see that these are heavily detailed cards. There is a lot of, I would say, maneuvering here. There is a lot of decision making here and a lot of maneuvering, a lot of contemplation this week for you, Leo. But it is specifically with regard to your circle of fill in the blank, okay? Coworkers, friends, travelers, family, ideologies, belief systems, etc. So the tribe is basically talking about where you belong and why you belong there, what attracts you, why you're attracted to it, what type of personality or concept or ideology draws you in, that type of idea here. And the bottom line about having been drawn to this is about getting footing, finding your place, being welcome. The tribe is another term, for example, regarding an earth family. So yeah, we all have family that we're related to, but many of us have friends that feel like family or coworkers, or we can, in terms of social media, we can be communicating with someone we've never physically met before and have a great appreciation and respect and understanding with that person. So your tribe might not even be someone that you've even met. So, but that you do have an association with and a friendship with and some footing with. So I will let that card rest for the moment in terms of explanation, and let's move on to the fork in the road. This is really interesting also to me with regard to decision making and contemplation, most importantly because of the imagery in the card. So of course we have the owl here at the end. The owl is significant in terms of impact around its imagery regarding psychic energy, the moon time, anything having to do with the moon, pairs, cycles, womanhood, etc. And then, of course, the other most obvious one is the huge fork in the road with signs pointing everywhere. There are a lot of different ways that you can go with this that will lead you to very specific outcomes. I think the point here is to get to the tribe in which you belong or which you prefer to be in. And of course, one thing to watch for is distraction. And could be that this is all that this is talking about with regard to time constraints and making up your mind about something is there's an element of distraction here. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's negative. It's not like that, but it's a time suck. And we can see that because of the little rhesus monkey at the top of the fork you can see here is wearing a mask. So as we all know, the imagery around monkeys is about playfulness, nothing wrong with that. And when the mask, it could be that there's an act going on, something's being hidden, someone's pretending to be someone they're not. In fact, you can see that the mask that the monkey is wearing is a mask of another animal. So just look out for not only distraction this week, but some kind of, even if it's not intentional, some kind of trickery could be afloat here with regard to making this decision. I don't feel like it's something that you're projecting into the world or that you're bringing into this scenario here, but certainly when you're learning about other issues, groups of people, ideologies, etc., um, make sure that you are able to see this transparently is probably the most concise way to finalize this reading here today. Just so that's a group of cards there. Yeah, just look out for transparency and people that are on your people who are open and reasonable, like to call on your level. Like, just make sure that there are people on your level and they are leveling with you and you are leveling with them, and you might find that your question is answered just by doing that, Leo. So that could help. I hope that helps in some way. And like I began the reading with, there is this sense that you're being pulled into something or directed to something in order to grow, but also to be yourself, truly yourself within, somewhere that you don't have to wear the mask, or you don't have to deal with shadiness or shady people, or etc., that type of thing. Okay, so we're just looking for another jumper here. If we don't get one, say, in the next 3 shuffles, I will split the deck and pull one from, oh wow, super jump. Now, this is really cool. I gotta tell you, I do get goosebumps when this happens. So we not only have higher power here, which was the overall energy for the week, Leo, but divine guidance is one of your follow-up cards, sort of additional message cards to this reading today. Divine guidance just means that these two are working in tandem, and you could very well be aware of this and appreciative of this. Certainly if this is new for you and you're unfamiliar with that agency, energies, etc., I wouldn't be perturbed by this at all, or upset or concerned here. It just looks like someone or something is trying to help you get to your highest good and act in accordance to your highest good and highest properties here, Leo. So that is lovely. So we do have a jumper. Wonderful. And sincerely, one of my favorite cards out of all these decks is the Deer. The Deer's keyword is gentleness. So this is lovely as well. So it's interesting to see here that the overall energies and additional messages are slightly different from this, contemplative reasoning, association, transparency. There's a lot of communication and contemplation here, decision making. And I think we can look to these cards, for example, in terms of how to approach the decision making. So just to finish up, we have divine guidance, higher power, and gentleness. And I really sincerely feel if you follow through with this contemplation and decision making this week, feeling protected, feeling as though you're going in the right way for you, and to do it this communicating and contemplation with others and by yourself in a gentle way, I think that you will be able to sort of relax into this and not feel pressured or not feel as though you have to, or that it needs to be, this decision or contemplation needs to be stressful. That's not the way it needs to be gone about. This can certainly be done in a gentle way, while still remaining passionate and meaningful. So Leo, that concludes your reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have a minute, as always, let me know how this works out for you for the week. I'm always curious to see how this works out, or if something in particular made sense to you, or there's a question about something here. And if you aren't already, be sure to subscribe today. I upload videos for your sign every week. So until next time, please take good care, and I will see you then.